By show of hands, how many people here have children? All right. How many plan to have children? Well, this is a picture of mine, and I love them a great deal. They drive me nuts sometimes, but like any good father, I worry about them a lot. And like any other father, don't you worry about this, right? I don't know what's going to happen, right? Artificial superintelligence is coming, and I want them to survive this. Now, more than other fathers, I worried about it more because I'm part of the problem. I work at a company that advances the state of the art. In this, we do that as enterprise software, but we certainly do a lot of deep learning work. And here you see the audience I'm speaking to is in that oval here, which is the people that believe this is coming. It's just a matter of time. The only difference is whether you're pessimistic about it or optimistic. And I hope that I can somehow convince you to go to the right-hand side. So at Google, if you look at the Google Brain that was published work in 2012, it's about the cockroach level, right? And if you say, well, how much time would it take for the amount of energy consumed per neuron? It's about 50, 40 years. Another metric, if you look at the traverse edges per second, that is if you think about communications per unit time as opposed to compute, then the calculation comes to about 16 years before it reaches human parity. In other words, we can replace the human for the same cost. So, oh my God, we're all going to die, right? So let's set that thought aside for a moment. I want to tell you about something else. Let's just change topics altogether. Let's think about this guy named Eric Weihenmayer. Some of you may know this guy. He's the first blind person to ever scale the Everest. And here he was blind since 13, and he's playing tic-tac-toe with his daughter, and he's climbing. And he does that using a device that essentially converts video signal into electrode signals that he places on his tongue. And with about 6 to 8 weeks of training, a blind person can begin to quote-unquote see. That is, the brain sees, not the eyes, right? Here's another example of a damaged rat hippocampus, that's the area responsible for memory, that is being replaced by a chip that actually repairs and even expands memory capacity for that rat. And the last example that I want to show you is this is a distributed computing right here. You got a bunch of rats and a bunch of monkeys who, given information that is not sufficient by any single individual to complete the task, and yet when connected, they can perform that task better than any individual. So I want to take this back. What if we could augment our own brains with this AI stuff that I'm working on? Right? What would happen? What would that world be like? Right? So, but isn't that just like putting on a pair of glasses? You know, in the future, these glasses are augmenting my vision. If I take them off, I can't see a thing. Isn't that just like augmenting an athlete's missing leg that she otherwise could not run? But in that world, wouldn't we become that ASI? We would be certainly connected human to human a lot more than we are today. We would understand each other implicitly, and we would also be connected to our machines. So in that universe, or in that world, I'm actually very optimistic about it. I think of that as hyper-evolution. Because if there's any single variable that has characterized human evolution in the past, it's been intelligence. And there's an opportunity for this century where we reach hyper-evolution. And so let's do this. But we need advances in all three areas, right? Hardware, what I call wetware, which is brain-machine interfaces, and software, like Jeremy spoke to earlier. We got to bring neuroscientists together with computer scientists and make advances in all of these areas. And these are some of the people that I can think of as sort of representative of the kinds of people that can bring us to that future. This comes from MIT's TR35 Awards ceremony in 2014 that I attended. Right? Kwok Lei, somebody at Google that I advise. Even at my company, I tell the team what we're really working on is intelligent augmentation. Right? Today, we're working on something called self-service predictive analytics, but that is augmenting the user's intelligence. But really, ultimately, we're going to be augmenting the human brain with machine intelligence. So we're standing today at the fork of a road. To the left, we're all going to die because the machine will take over. To the right, it may challenge what it means to be human in the 21st century. But I think I hope we'll make the right choice, because I certainly care about our children and our children's children and their children, and I want them to continue to inherit the earth. Thank you.